Well, hey everybody, I'm still here at Giga Berlin. I just completed an amazing tour of the factory, something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I also got a chance to tour with some special guests, Tobias Lindh, the Wolfpack brothers, the people that provided drone flights at the very beginning, and also got a chance to meet some great employees and talk to them a little bit about Giga Berlin. So just really all over a great visit, and I just want to say thank you very much for Tesla for making this happen. A few things, just sort of impression that I had about Giga Berlin versus Giga Texas, and I thought I would just sort of cover that here real quick. First thing that you notice when you get here is the parking lot, the access to the reception center, and the fact that it is open to the public, and you can just come here, park, walk right in, and you can at least see some of what Giga Berlin has to offer. I think it's very open, and it's kind of welcoming for the public, which I think is something maybe Giga Texas could learn from, or at least employ just a little bit more. So that was one of the impressions. The other thing is on the outside, instead of just having stained concrete walls, they put up a lot of the graffiti, and it's not just graffiti what you think of back in the States of people using spray cans or so on just various walls. This is very well done, brings a lot of color and a lot of depth to what you see with the factory. But it does more than that too, is they've kind of made the graffiti in a way that if you look at it at the right angle, it creates a continuing picture. And one of them is the heart symbol with the robot arms that you've seen with Optimus. Another is showing the final assembly area with the light tunnel that they go through for the final inspections. Of course, you have to just look at it at the right angle, and you can see that with the graffiti around. And they also have that graffiti on the inside of the factory too, which is kind of just a nice addition. So that adds just a different character here to Giga Berlin. And it's not what you really see at Giga Texas, where everything is just the white stained walls. As far as the factories themselves, Giga Berlin is smaller, but they are organized kind of similar. Most of the equipment, obviously building the Model Ys, there's a lot of similarities between the production processes there. But there were some things that I saw that are interesting, either that they have here and it's going to be going to Giga Texas, or it's at Giga Texas and it's either here or it's going to be incorporated pretty soon. So the first thing that I noticed as we came into the factory along that lines was that castings are being moved inside the factory now on a conveyor system. Now at Giga Texas, that's done differently. Of course, the Model Ys and the Cybertrucks have the castings put into those racking systems out on the east side and the north part of the factory, and then they're moved by forklifts or by Cybertrucks pulling the trailers to the production lines where they are needed. However, at the Cybercab line, one of the changes that they did, and it kind of addresses this long-standing issue that Tesla's had with management of the castings, they have a kind of a conveyor system inside the factory, so that once the castings are made, they're put on the system, it delivers them directly to the production line, where that process to make the unbox methodology for the Cybercab begins. So that is actually here at Giga Berlin as well, and it's supporting the production of the Model Ys. So it's just sort of a showing how they continue to develop and incorporate a lot of the technologies between the different factories. Another thing that I saw here that has been developed at Giga Berlin and is going to eventually go back to Giga Texas is how they make the castings. They have the same casting machines, the same melting process for the aluminum, but what's different is once the castings come out of the machines themselves, they're put over into one kind of a press and cutting machine. And it very rapidly, in one motion, trims off all the excess of the biscuit and the flashing around where the Cybercab has the molding, and the aluminum will flow into it during that process. Now, Giga Texas, they use milling machines to trim that off. Sometimes they use lasers, and they also have to put inserts for some of the bolts later on. This process pretty much automates all of that and reduces a lot of the time. It also reduces a lot of the floor space because those milling machines that would be used and are needed, like you see at Giga Texas, have been replaced by this one kind of, I don't know, this press that they have developed, which is something I do expect to see over at Giga Texas. So that's really cool. Now, they don't have a melt center that they do at Giga Texas where they bring in the spare wheels and other scraps and get the aluminum. But they do have a recycling program, and that is all those extra flashings that are trimmed off are melted back down and used with the rest of the ingots to begin that process again to make castings. So great to see. Stamping, that's a little bit different here too. At Giga Texas, if you ever come for a tour, you'll probably never see the stamping machines in action or that stamping machine section at all. Whereas here at Giga Berlin, it was part of the tour. Now they do have two large Schuler stamping presses now. The reason why I point that out is that originally they only had one. They've done an extension to the north of the factory to allow for that new stamping machine to be put in, and I got a chance to see it in operation. And it's really amazing to see these really, really heavy dies and large machinery moving as fast as it was moving. And they make all of the body parts for the Model Y. One of the other differences that's here versus Giga Texas, of course, is that all of the production is for the Model Ys here, versus at Giga Texas we have the Model Ys, the Cybertruck, and also now the Cybercab. They're also getting ready for some future products there, like the Optimus robot with a new factory, of course the Cortex data centers, and the chip fab that's coming in. But that doesn't mean that Giga Berlin is not going to be expanding. I learned that there are several expansion plans that are underway. We can also see some of that inside the factory as they're preparing for that expansion, and also for the increase in the sales of the Model Y, but also the expansion is kind of manifesting with more of the clearing of the site to the north of the factory. A very large section of the property has been cleared of the trees, and they are preparing at some point to build in another structure that's pretty much equal size to what Giga Berlin is right now. What they're going to do there, it's really hard to tell, but it's very possible it's going to be kind of like what Tesla's been saying, maybe the Semi, maybe the Cybercab, maybe the Optimus robot. The timing on that is still TBD, but if it was my guess, I would say, based on a lot of the job postings that are being done around Europe, especially here in Germany, it may be for the semi truck, because it looks like that may be closest to being ready, and it would probably integrate into Europe pretty well. So I don't know, that was kind of my impressions. I mean, overall, the production line and the processes, the equipment that they use is extremely similar to what you see at Giga Texas, but they also have a different layout, different format. Giga Texas tends to be more of a vertical. You see the bodies and various body parts going from the first floor to the second floor to the third floor and back down. They do a lot of the body in white for the Cybertruck on the third floor, and then it moves its way down. Here it's mostly on about 2 floors, more or less, and those second floors are more like mezzanines. So there is production mostly on the ground floor, and then they move them up to the mezzanines to either have kind of the body bank, which is having the body in whites waiting for their turn to go to the paint shop. They have resting areas for the painted bodies to dry. Of course, as we talked before, it's the body in white, the painting process, that takes up the majority of the production. So they're having to deal with that here, and taking up some of that space on the second floor, along with making some of the doors, the assemblies, and other parts of the vehicle. Whereas at Giga Texas, they just have the second floor itself, and they just keep all of that waiting for their opportunity to be used in production. Another thing that I want to point out, which is really not about the production here, but it's kind of like the culture here that I like a lot and don't see at Giga Texas, and that is that they have the Life at Giga Texas coverage. It's on X, and it's a dedicated kind of media relations team that goes around and follows what some of the employees are doing, what they're working on, and it's kind of to encourage the kind of understanding of what is going on, highlight what the employees are doing, and a little bit about what the process and just the daily life of Giga Berlin is like. They do post that on X, and it's just a great way to get an insight into some things that you wouldn't normally see. I understand it's quite popular with the employees here because they get a chance to see them in action and show their families what they're doing. But it's not being replicated so far, certainly not at Giga Texas, but maybe that's something that they can look into because I think there's a lot of value in having people being able to show their family and just having people around the world see what they're doing to get an appreciation for all the work that's being done here. So I thought that was really pretty cool as well. Another thing I'm just going to go do here pretty soon is I'm going to go on the train that leaves from Giga Berlin, and it helps bring, it's going to go off to the next site, but it helps bring employees to and from the factory, and it really helps ease the transportation requirements here, and also maybe some of the frustration that you might have with just being on the highway. Obviously, that's not something that Giga Texas has. I don't think we're ever going to have it there at Giga Texas, but the rail tracks were here right to the beginning, and so they're taking advantage of that. They're also expanding the train station here, so there's going to be a lot more of that service coming up. And part of it is actually open to the general public. So if they live here in Grünheide, they can actually take advantage of the train also. So I'm going to try to take that and try to get some views that maybe we haven't seen before, and kind of show you what it's sort of like being an employee here and coming from home to work and vice versa. So I'm really looking forward to that. Plus maybe seeing a little bit of the site that we don't normally see, and I'll try to share that here while we're talking so that you can get kind of that perspective as well. But overall, those were most of my impressions, at least right now. And I probably have a lot more maybe I'll talk about in some future videos, but I did want to get this out now while I'm still here at Giga Berlin and getting ready to head back to the United States. The last thing that I would like to say is just say thank you one more time to Tesla for the invitation to fly all the way here from the United States to get to Grünheide and get a chance to tour Giga Berlin. I know that that's not available for everybody, but I really much appreciate that, and I feel honored that I got a chance to see it and further give you a chance to hear a little bit about my thoughts about it, and maybe some information that is helpful as we continue to watch Tesla and building towards that future and all of the changes that are coming up. So that'll be it for me here at the factory, and I'll be heading back to USA in just a couple of days, and look for me for my next video. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.